Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently exceptionally close right now to being able to start actually addressing the core problems in our economy. That is been a while, no doubt about it. We're going to finish up these tea plantations and steel mills relatively soon. I think before we run out of gold. That would be great. Only minus 60k right now. We were at minus 80k. That's a very good sign. That is an exceptionally good sign. We're very happy about that. Of course, these steel mills are going to drive the price of iron up a little bit, and that's mostly a lack of qualifications issue, right? We don't have a lack of jobs. We have a lack of people qualified to work those jobs. We've got about 3 million peasants and about 600,000 unemployed people, but none of those are currently well positioned for the kind of economy that we're trying to build here. So I'm going to let these steel mills maybe not entirely finish up. That's 18 weeks. We're going to let this go for a while until we run out of cash, and then we'll reevaluate our agrarian situation. So that'll be fine. We're also currently working on egalitarianism, which the primary goal behind that is being able to unlock proportional taxation. That would be useful, although I think right now it wouldn't be the way we'd want to go. Actually, plus 43k. Okay. Yeah, actually, proportional taxation is the way we want to go. Nobody would be into it, of course, but that's to be expected. We're not running a wood shortage anymore. Are we actually getting some people in Hokkaido? Hang on a moment. But population there is still shrinking. Yeah, nobody there. Okay. Sure. For now, that's reasonably fine. We are going to be done with our fishing wharves very soon, in fact. Minus 80k again. Okay, so it was probably just something to do with our current pricings. Gotcha. That's fine. Subsidies are definitely mediocre right now. Intelligentsia, sure. We'll get some interest group approval from them. That seems absolutely okay. So our fishing wharves in Hokkaido are going to be done in 3 weeks. That's probably about the time, yeah, that is definitely about the time we're going to need to pause our construction. Noted. So we do have these iron mines being worked on. We don't expect them to actually, in the short term, do much, which is sad. But we'll let this week of construction finish up. That finishes our fishing wharves. And now we'll pause our constructions. So that puts us at plus 200k. That's absolutely fine. I want to check in on pricings here. So we're looking at 0.67, 0.37, 0.4, 0.43, 0.58. Okay, so tobacco it is. We'll get 10 of those going, but I also want to get a couple of extra motor industries. And let's build these in Kyushu. Let's build this up to 5. So something like this. Yeah, this will be fine. So we're going to be working on the tobacco plantations, the motor industries, the steel mills. But of course, we need to let this run for a little bit to get our gold reserves on up. We don't want to be running negative gold reserves because, of course, interest is not great. We definitely don't want that. Our standard of living has been broadly creeping upward, although not in Sakhalin and Hokkaido. Those locations are rough for our people right now. There's no doubt about it. I don't blame them for moving out. That is a terrible mortality rate. Okay. Well, we do need to handle that, but we really need some political movements for that. We're just waiting for an opportunity. We are waiting for an opportunity on that one. But we're also very close at this point to being able to construct at our desired rate. So that's good. We're not wanting to build any additional construction. We have scaled up our construction to the point we want to be at. And I'm going to give this 2 more weeks here, and then we'll resume our constructions. So we can see that clippers and wood are currently expensive. And yeah, market access in Sakhalin, this is just due to not having people working our railways. So I'm not too concerned about that, to be honest. A shipyard in Kyushu is okay. A cotton plantation in Kanto is whatever, sure. We should definitely resume our constructions at this time. Minus 50k, that is definitely an improvement until these price changes really start kicking in. That'll be the real problem there. But we can see our subsidy costs are creeping upwards, which is why we are investing in some motor industries here. That's the overall idea, anyway. So we've got these tobacco plantations finishing up. The steel mills are not very far away. We'll let those finish after the tobacco plantations. This should be reasonably fine. Yeah, this market access is rough. No doubt about that. We could theoretically think about building some additional ports instead of railways. We could. What kind of laborers does this require? What kind of workers? Laborers, clerks, bureaucrats. As opposed to railways, which require capitalists, laborers, machinists, and clerks. Okay. That's definitely interesting. I'm going to build 3 in Sakhalin, and that'll bring us up. Actually, it's going to need to be 4. We'll see if we manage to get anything out of that. But I do want to move up the steel mills. Not necessarily that tobacco plantation, but I guess it's fine. I want to move these steel mills up. I want to get the steel mills done kind of right now. So let's get those finished up out of the way. Get the steel mills online, and then these ports will finish up eventually, but the motor industries in Kyushu will be first. That's fine. I'm not concerned about that. That should be okay. Yeah, we have a wood and iron shortage. That's not shocking. Not shocking in the slightest. We just need people to work in those locations, right? That's what we need more than anything. So if we go out to like Kanto, where our primary workforce is, not the whaling station, the primary workforce for our iron, we can see this is not maxed out, despite the fact that we have a shortage. For the logging camps, that is maxed out, and I think that's the case in most locations where we have logging camps. I think in most situations it's maxed out, but not in Hokkaido. So that is definitely someplace that we can bring up additional people. That would be good. For the time being, we may want to start thinking about dropping taxes soon, despite the fact that we are not constructing constantly. We probably should think about that. Let's let these motor industries finish in 10 weeks, and then we'll consider dropping taxes. I think that is probably worthwhile. We're also working up our law enforcement, which will help matters somewhat, but only somewhat. What we really need is law changes, and we just can't do it right now. There are just no law changes to be made that we want to make, which is very sad. Very sad indeed. We need, like, agitators for that, and there just haven't been any coming through. We'll see what we can do about it. Maybe we get a movement going, but for now, we'll just continue to focus on our economy. But law changes is really what we need here, to be clear. Absolutely, we need law changes. There's central banking, which will help. That'll boost up our minting. So that's great. And law enforcement goes up, which will also help. That will reduce the bad effects of this radicalism. Enact tenant farmers. Hang on a moment. That gets us off of serfdom. Beautiful. We would love this. Yes, it's going to boost... Actually, it's going to reduce the political strength of the shogunate. Do it. We're getting going on that immediately. That is absolutely vital for us. That was lucky that that popped up then. Okay. Beautiful. We're very, very pleased about that. So the motor industries are finishing now-ish. Now. And now I'm thinking about cutting taxes. You might ask why. The answer is we really need to bring up our standard of living, especially in Hokkaido and Sakhalin. Do we consider dropping... Our consumption tax on opium is completely pointless. I think we drop that. If we look at our standard of living here, we can see what they are paying for currently, and they're paying a reduced base price for their pop needs. So really what we need here is just to reduce their taxes. They're paying 30% in taxes right now, which is kind of crushing them. So let's consider dropping our taxes down to high taxes. This will reduce the amount of time that we can spend constructing. but I think it's worthwhile. Because we really do need to start getting some actual pop growth here. And that is some pop growth. This is not growth up this way just yet. Okay, this is an incorporated state. The standard of living here should start to come up. They're currently starving. I think this is primarily just due to the market access, though. So if we look at this, we can take a look at the ports and see, do we have people actually employed here? Not really. So what we might want to end up doing is actually issuing a road maintenance over here. That might not be a bad idea. Promoting cultural values up here might not be bad as well. Actually, that doesn't actually need to happen. Okay, noted. We could also do emergency relief up here, which would probably be significantly helpful in Hokkaido as well. So let's issue some emergency relief there. That will probably boost up our welfare payments. Let's see what that does to the standard of living here. Currently 3.0. Does not change, and now there's a revolution to preserve serfdom. Okay. So who all would rebel from this? 55% risk for Chubu. It would be Tohoku Kanto. So who all is opposing this? The shogunate and the samurai. Interesting. So what can we do about the samurai? They're in opposition to this, and this is barely radicalizing them. But we can change our military wages. If we just bumped our military wages to here, yes, it'll cost us more money. But that is a theoretical okay thing. So that would pull the samurai, in theory, out of this. They're now at +1. The shogunate are going to be very upset about this, and I'm not sure that there's anything that we can really do about that. There's a failed petition. That'll tick away over time. Okay. So the samurai are still in this movement to preserve serfdom, but not very. Not very indeed. So if we look at this... Okay, noted. Now, we're going to want to pause our construction here, for sure. And so we shall. We are currently in debt. Do we want to worry about this revolution, is the question. Well, we just passed a consideration. How much are we going to get per checkpoint? 22% progress? That is a lot of progress per checkpoint. If we end up winning this, it would be great. The real question is just how much of our forces would they take with us? And the answer is potentially quite a lot. They would not take Kansai, though. Which potentially we could bump up our barracks here by a lot. Potentially. I don't know. Kyushu has a pretty low chance. The real question is, can we get this passed before these guys actually happen? So we could change the progress of the Civil War by 10%, or we could change the interest group political strength of the samurai. I think that's what we're going to do right now. This radicalism did go up. Okay. I was hoping it would go down, but it went up. That's fine. 22.4% progress. Gotcha. For the time being, this might end up being okay. Maybe. If we just cruise straight through with the tenant farmers, that would be magnificent, and we would be very, very happy about that. If we don't just cruise through, problems ensue. Certainly. But we could always abandon enacting tenant farmers if we really needed to. Or we could try to find somebody who would be interested in joining this. 37 reasons for Russia. What about France? 27 reasons. Britain also has 27 reasons. We're currently amicable with them. It's primarily due to our rank and base reluctance. Okay, noted. That's fascinating. I'm not convinced it's necessary yet, though. It depends on how we roll here. If we have good luck, then that would be great. We only have a 24% chance of a stall. So we'll see what happens here. We would really like to not have this revolution happen, right? That would be ideal. Vultures on a carcass. We could certainly try to coax some back here. And that's what we'll do. I was hoping to have this back off a little bit in terms of its progress. I should have taken that on the first try, but live and learn, right? So that'll be okay. Our number of radicals has actually dropped a lot due to our tax drop. And hey, we passed straight through to adoption. We're 2/3 of the way through this, and we're not even halfway to the revolution yet. So that's the idea here. That's the idea. Do we want to cut our taxes further? Kinda, yeah. Actually. Keep in mind we're not constructing right now. So that's going to be painful. We've got some inefficient agriculture going on here, but dropping our taxes is very, very good for getting these guys actually working, right? Unfortunately, Sakhalin up here... Oh, the British Republic is now damaging relations. That's rude, guys. Can you not? Can you not? We could actually become their protectorate here. Hang on. Becoming their protectorate here might be a really good idea. If we become their protectorate, we'll be free to still do our wars over here that we're looking to do. Eventually, we'll probably be strong enough to break free from them. Eventually. And we would be protected by them from powers like Russia and from this situation here, preserving serfdom. It's an interesting concept, to be sure. For the time being, I'm not 100% convinced that we need protection from this revolution. We don't want to fight it. But if we just sail straight through here, which is what the odds are, then in theory, this should be okay. The mob is approaching, yes, and we're going to change the progress by -10. So that drops this down, and that buys us a little bit of time. We're about halfway to enacting tenant farmers. Now, we're going to need to continue to improve relations with these guys. It'll be dropped today. So we'll just hold relations here at 49. Perfect. That'll be fine. Now the question is, do we pass tenant farmers here? Untrained hands, huh? Keep children off the factory floor. Cool. We can start up our construction, which we should do. We're going to be running a significant deficit, and we know this. That's completely fine. We did build up a good amount of gold reserves, so we'll be able to run this deficit for a little bit here. That said, this revolution is eventually going to be a problem. Do we get another success roll here? 57.6% chance of success, 17.6% chance of advance. We'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed. If we don't succeed this roll, then I don't think we have time for another roll if we don't want to fight this revolution. Well, actually, it depends on this event. Okay. Yeah, we don't have... Okay, it passed. Beautiful. So it doesn't matter. So tenant farmers passed. That is magnificent. That opens up a lot of potential options for us. Obviously, we're not going to restore serfdom just yet. And we'll see if anything pops up over here to restore serfdom. But it did pass, so that gets that political movement disbanded for now. It probably will continue, but for the moment, that is absolutely fine. So that allows us to start going for things like religious schools if we get a movement. If we get a movement. So our pop growth is definitely starting to come up. Our standard of living has come up markedly. So that's good. That's very, very good there. We will continue to push through here. We do still have iron shortages. We're working on these iron mines, but they're not actually going to help us because we don't have people up here to work them, right? Our pop growth up here is still very low, and we should probably be running a decree up here. Do we need to promote national values here? We can't set that. Okay. We can set that in Hokkaido, though, and let's do that. Let's also run a greener grass campaign up over here in hopes of getting some additional attraction. We would love to see the standard of living come up. The primary issue here is absolutely the fact that the market connected through a land route. So like this? I guess this is connected through a land route here. Noted. With that being the case, we really do need to get this market access up. But there's nobody to work here. Okay. I'm going to delay all of these iron mines until the end. They're not going to help us. So we're going to build our iron mines in Tohoku instead. For now, that's fine. And Hokkaido is okay as well. Yeah, this all looks good for the moment. So that's fine. And yeah, these guys are only below the standard of living right now because of the market access up here. So, what can we do about the market access? Well, we could definitely build more ports. That is an option. If we get employment there, that would be great. And we would also want to build potentially another railway here. Yes, I know that we don't have employment there. But that would definitely be a good thing. So the law enforcement investment is continuing to go up. That looks good. Now what we're really looking for in terms of law changes is we would love to get health systems and schools going on here. Welfare would also be something that would be vaguely interesting for us. Vaguely. We'll see about any of those events. If they pop up, that would be great. For now, we really do need to be working here. We have 4 buildings under construction here. Yes, we do. That is accurate. Because we have the ports and the railway. Correct. Noted. So we currently have these iron mines here, right? And can we shut these down? I don't think we can shut these down. Although it would be useful to be able to. The main problem here, of course, is the fact that we're losing like 800 population per year. That is definitely an issue for us. Their standard of living is turbo low, as opposed to like down here, where the standard of living has come up markedly in Hokkaido. It has not come up here because of the market access issue. So, what can we do about market access up here? I mean, we're already doing a road maintenance. So that gives us some infrastructure from that. I don't know that there's really anything else that we can do here. We're already running emergency relief up here. Not that we have any welfare payments, and it's only a 50% increase, right? So that's not actually helping matters. We can probably consider dropping our emergency relief in Hokkaido at this point. I think that we're doing reasonably okay here. So that's fine. We're actually doing substantially better on our finances right now. That's good. And egalitarianism is going to finish in 3 weeks. So that'll unlock some additional laws, which would be great for us. We would love to get those laws. Mostly because we need to change our taxation techniques, right? And we also really, really do need to get our infrastructure up here. Using 65 of 19. Yeah. It's just rough because we don't have any people here. Okay, so we get a bunch of new rights here. And that's fine. If we were to go down, we could go for, like, human rights for Social Security institution. That would actually be pretty decent. Labor movement might not be bad either. Potential agitators. Agitators would kind of be good. 9 years to research human rights, though. Okay, that's a ways. We may want to go for additional production here, but honestly, I think that society changes are what we need more than anything. So we're on modern sewerage right now. That seems okay. we would go for something like labor movement then. Cool. We're going to have to pause our construction here, and we'll go ahead and do so. That'll pull us out of debt here in just a couple of weeks. And it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue to work on bringing up our standard of living now that we're kind of at a point where we can do that. And we really do want to deal with this market access issue up in Sakhalin. That will absolutely be vital for us. And the question is, what can we actually do about it? The turmoil there is continuing to tick upwards, and I get it. It's because their standard of living is super low, but we can't raise up the standard of living there. Unfortunately. We can't do import trade routes. We can't do export trade routes. We're just kind of stuck on Sakhalin. I don't think there's anything we can do about it right now other than what we're trying to do, which is raising the market access. We need to get off of isolationism. That would be a good thing to do. For now, of course, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to see about getting that under control and getting all of these iron mines into Hoku built. That would be an absolutely useful thing as well. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.